A day before the university entrance exam, my niece, Lily, had her hand clamped by a lobster. One glance was enough for me to realize that her wound was infected with a deadly bacteria, potentially requiring amputation. I rushed her to the hospital for treatment, but I never expected that after failing her exam, she would unleash her fury on me. "It's all your fault, Aunt Anna, for making such a big deal out of it." Dragging me to the hospital in the middle of the night meant I couldn't get proper rest, and that's why I failed. "You owe me my dream of a 985 university." My sister-in-law, Sarah, was even more critical. "How serious could a lobster pinch be? You forced my daughter to go to the exam with a bandage. She couldn't even hold a pen properly. You ruined my daughter's entire life, so you'll pay with yours." They broke my right arm and then pushed me into a river to drown. Even my own brother, Daniel, to protect Sarah and Lily, claimed I'd slipped and fallen into the water, then seized all my assets. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Lily's finger was clamped by the lobster. She clutched her injured finger, crying to me. "Aunt Anna, my finger's bleeding. Let's go to the hospital." I smiled. "Making a mountain out of a molehill, aren't we? Tomorrow's your university exam. Why don't you go rest and get strong? This time I have to see. Without me, will that hand, infected with necrotizing bacteria, even remain? Ah, it hurts so much." The moment I opened my eyes, Lily's scream echoed in my ears. There, dangling from her finger, was a lobster. Her usually pristine white skin was bleeding where the lobster had clamped it. She looked at me with wide, pitiful eyes. "Auntie, it hurts so much?" It was in this precise moment that I knew I had been reborn. The previous life had unfolded exactly the same way. My sister-in-law, Sarah, had bought a basket of lobsters, delivered by sea, claiming that tomorrow was Lily's university exam, so she needed to eat something good. As a result, Lily, in a playful mood, reached out to touch a lobster and was immediately clamped. I quickly told her to put a Band-Aid on it, but when it was time for bed, I noticed her finger was swelling more and more, even looking a bit congested. I'm a medical professional. I knew something was definitely wrong. There was a high probability of a Vibrio infection. This bacteria is commonly found in contaminated seafood. Once infected, a mild case results in ulcers, but severe cases can lead to limb amputation or even death. I didn't care that it was already 3 a.m. I deliberately avoided Sarah, quickly dragged Lily out of bed, and took her to the hospital. At the hospital, the emergency doctor on duty was my colleague. He confirmed it was indeed a Vibrio infection, and thankfully we had brought her in time to save her right hand. Lily and Sarah, not being medically trained, didn't understand the danger of Vibrio bacteria, but they still held my hands, profusely thanking me. "Anna, thank goodness for you." Otherwise, how would Lily have taken her university exam tomorrow? Lily also cried and told me, "Thank you, Auntie. Once I get into a 985 university, I'll take care of you." Even my brother, Daniel, who was away on a business trip, specifically transferred 3,000 yuan to my account as a token of his gratitude. I just never expected that when Lily's university exam results were announced, she only scored 300 points. She held the score sheet, crying miserably to me, "It's all your fault, Auntie. You dragged me to the hospital at 3 a.m. the day before the exam." I got absolutely no rest. I knew I had failed on the first day. How could I have the presence of mind to do the papers for the next 2 days? "You owe me my 985 university." Sarah heard this and immediately flew into a rage. "I told you, Lily usually scores 500, 600 points. Why did she only get 300 in the university exam? It's all because you made such a big deal out of it, insisting on dragging our Lily to the hospital. How serious could a lobster pinch be? I think you're getting a commission from your colleagues, deliberately trying to swindle money from us. You made my daughter go to the exam with a bandaged hand. How could she even write? You ruined my daughter's entire life. You have to sell your house so our Lily can study abroad." I refused to sell my house. So Sarah, along with Lily, ganged up on me, injuring me, breaking both my arms and then throwing me into the river. Even though I knew how to swim, I couldn't surface. I could only watch helplessly as I drowned. But what pained me the most was that my closest brother, Daniel, after hearing of my death, chose to lie to our parents and the police. He simply said I had accidentally fallen and slipped into the water, then cursorily buried my body. My brother said, "She's an unmarried woman with no children. If she dies, won't all the money she earned as a doctor and the house she bought belong to us? Besides, Lily is our only niece. Mom and Dad will side with her if they know." Lily, upon hearing this, gleefully jumped for joy. That's wonderful. I have money to study abroad now. Dad, let's go withdraw all her money. I know her bank card password. These were the words they spoke after my death. I had never married in this lifetime. I always thought my family was everything, treating Lily like my own daughter. That's why my bank card password was set to Lily's birthday. But I never expected to raise a den of white-eyed wolves in the end. Thinking of this, I looked at Lily again. She was looking at me pitifully. Auntie, do we need to go to the hospital for a bandage? I suppressed the hatred in my heart and smiled at her. Go, of course, we can go. It's just that you have your university exam tomorrow. I wonder if wearing a bandage will affect your performance. The moment I finished speaking, Sarah rushed out from the kitchen, scolding furiously. Exactly, why go to the hospital? Going to that unlucky, cursed place on the first day of the university exam? How ominous. With that, she grabbed Lily's hand, examined it with disdain, and said, "It's just a small scratch, a lobster pinch. Washing it with water is enough." I watched her grasp Lily's hand and perfunctorily wash it with plain water, almost unable to hold back my laughter. Wash it, wash it. After being infected with necrotizing bacteria, washing it with cold water would only make the bacteria penetrate deeper, worsening the condition. I have to see whether your university exam ends first or your hand gets amputated first. Early the next morning, I was woken by Lily's scream. Mom, my finger is swollen. I opened the door. Lily's index finger was indeed slightly swollen. Excellent, I thought. It seems the infection has progressed another step. But Sarah paid no mind. She found a Band-Aid and stuck it on Lily. Why are you making such a fuss? When we were young, our hands were covered in chilblains, and we still had to go up the mountain to cut pig grass. You're just too weak. Hurry up and go take your exam. If you dawdle any longer, you won't be allowed into the exam hall. I chimed in. That's right, it's already 8 o'clock. You have to be in the exam hall half an hour early. Yes, Auntie, Lily pouted, reluctantly putting on her backpack and heading out. Watching her retreating figure, I felt an exhilarating anticipation. Excellent, excellent, one step closer to amputation. After the first subject, Lily's finger swelled even more. When she peeled off the Band-Aid, the surface of the wound was even slightly purplish. She said to Sarah, Mom, maybe we should go to the hospital. This damned girl, I told you going to the hospital brings bad luck and will affect your exam results later. Then what should I do? If it stays this swollen, I won't be able to do well on the afternoon paper. Sarah gritted her teeth. I knew you'd cause trouble. Good thing before the exam, I went to pray for something for you. With that, she went into the kitchen, turned on the gas stove, and a moment later brought out a bowl of something that looked like oil, but its surface was covered with black specks. Lily didn't understand. Mom, what is this? It's incense ash that I specifically prayed for you with, Sarah said, scooping out a spoonful with a spoon. Don't be scared. When we were kids in the countryside, when we got hurt cutting pig grass, we'd all apply rapeseed oil. It can kill germs, you know. If you don't believe me, ask your aunt. Lily looked at me for help, but I calmly said, You only learn things from books, Lily. Your aunt has more life experience than you. Listen to her, listen to her. Rapeseed oil applied to an infected wound, how ridiculous. What kind of nonsensical folk remedy is this? And that incense ash, truly not afraid of lead poisoning? But Sarah didn't care. She was uneducated and always jealous of me, a university graduate, thinking I was an unloved monster for not marrying or having children. Rarely did I admit I was inferior to her, so she was even happier. She grabbed Lily's hand and smeared a spoonful of the black stuff onto her wound. As she applied it, she murmured, Listen to your mother. I've lived for decades. Would I harm you? The university exam is the most important thing in a person's life. Just bear with it for this last day. Enduring hardship makes you a better person. For your 985 university, give it your last best shot. I chuckled. Why do these adults love to make children suffer so much? Oh, but it has nothing to do with me. I'll wait until Lily's truly amputated, then I'll see how she becomes a better person. Perhaps it was a psychological effect, but after Lily applied that incense oil concoction, she stopped complaining. After her lunch break, she continued her exams. In the late afternoon, Sarah calculated the time and went out to pick Lily up after the exam. However, before we even arrived, we overheard other parents chatting. How terrible! A child just fainted in the exam room. What a pity, studying hard for over 10 years, only to faint and have it all be for nothing. I didn't need to guess. I knew it was definitely Lily who had fainted. When she came out earlier, I noticed her lymph nodes were slightly swollen. With the high-intensity exams, it was time for the infection to fully manifest. But Sarah didn't know. She still thought her incense ash had worked. Instead, she asked others with a sense of morbid curiosity. Was it because of too much psychological pressure from the exam, too much stress, that she fainted? Psychological pressure. I heard it was some kind of bacterial infection. When they carried her out, pus was dripping all over her hand, soaking her exam paper. Sarah heard this and was so enraged she slammed her thigh. Pus dripping? That's serious. What kind of irresponsible parents are those? Their child is taking the university exam and they're not even paying attention. I almost burst out laughing. Don't scold anymore, don't scold anymore. I'm afraid if you know that the fainted child is Lily, you'll be mad enough to die yourself. Sarah was still boasting. It's not that I'm praising myself, but I'm very responsible towards my child. Before the exam, I was worried about her stress, so I specifically bought the seafood, the lobsters, that she loves to eat. Oh, I don't know what kind of parents that other child has, pus flowing and not taking them to the hospital. But looking on the bright side, one less student in the running means one less competitor for our child, right? Ha. Sarah spoke without thinking. As soon as she uttered those gleeful words, the people gossiping with her immediately looked at her with strange eyes. Someone, finding her words too much, quickly told Sarah, "Every family has a child taking the university exam. You should speak fewer such gleeful words and accumulate some good karma for your daughter." Sarah, who disliked being criticized, immediately flared up. "Do you need to manage me? My daughter is very smart. She's an excellent student who will get into a 985 university. I don't need to accumulate good karma. What right do you have to lecture me?" Sarah's rant was cut short as Lily's homeroom teacher, drenched in sweat, ran towards her. "Lily's mother, I finally found you. Hurry, come to the hospital with me." Sarah stared blankly, swatting the teacher's hand away. "What inauspicious nonsense are you talking about? My daughter is taking her university exam. How could she faint?" The homeroom teacher, panting, explained. "Your daughter's hand was injured, the wound is infected, and pus was dripping, soaking her exam paper. She saw the blood and pus herself and fainted on the spot. When we took her to the hospital, she also had a high fever." "What?" Sarah was completely stunned, her eyes bulging like a dead fish, blood vessels bursting. Her body trembled like a sieve. "Are you saying the child who fainted in the exam room was my daughter?" The homeroom teacher hesitated, but finally nodded. The people around them murmured. "So she's that irresponsible parent, after all, see? I said you should accumulate good karma and not speak gleeful words. With such an unreasonable parent, no wonder her daughter got injured on exam day and she didn't even know." Sarah was a proud and stubborn woman. Even being scolded like that, she still wouldn't believe it. Instead, she angrily pointed at the homeroom teacher and lashed out. "I don't believe it. What kind of school is this? What kind of teacher? My daughter is healthy. She just had her finger clamped by seafood. How could she faint? How could pus flow? It must be that your exam rooms aren't clean. Something made my daughter infected. I'm going to sue you, sue the Department of Education." Sarah's words became increasingly frantic. Someone nearby secretly took out their phone, wanting to record her bizarre behavior. I quickly and quietly retreated a bit further from her. I didn't want to be associated with this kind of quarrelsome woman and be slammed online. Only the homeroom teacher was worried, sweating profusely. "Lily's mother, Lily is my most cherished student. I'm as heartbroken as you that this happened to her. Please calm down first. Whatever issues there are, let's talk after we see the doctor." Sarah completely ignored him. She started making a scene. "I don't believe it. You just want to trick me into leaving the school so you can clean up the scene and destroy the evidence that harmed my daughter." With that, she even tried to pull down the caution tape and storm into the exam hall. A security guard stopped her. "Madam, disturbing the order of the exam is a serious offense. Not only will you face imprisonment, but the results of all students in this exam area will also be affected." The parents who had been watching the commotion, holding their phones to record, immediately dropped their phones when they heard this, rushing forward to pull Sarah back. "If your child is sick, go to the hospital." "What does that have to do with our children? Your family isn't taking the exam anymore, but my family still is. My child is retaking the exam. If their results are canceled because of you, I'll beat your entire family to death." Hearing this, I moved even further away, afraid of being caught in the crossfire. They scolded and pulled at Sarah's clothes. Sarah, neck craned, still yelled back at them, "You heartless wretches! Are you ganging up with the school to bully my daughter and me?" With that, Sarah suddenly lunged towards the exam's caution barrier, as if intending to take everyone down with her. "Fine, cancel the exams. If my daughter can't take it, none of your children will either. Your daughter fainting is not our fault, nor is it the school's fault. This is your doing. From the crowd, a large man stepped out, grabbing Sarah's arm in time and pulling her back. I turned to look at that parent. He was a surgeon from the city hospital. I had met him at a conference once. At the time, his daughter was also taking the university exam this year, and I had chatted with him for a few moments. He looked at Sarah and said coldly, "You said your daughter's finger was clamped by seafood. That's not a simple skin injury. She has definitely been infected with Vibrio bacteria." "Bacteria? What's Vibrio?" Sarah asked, her face ashen. "It was just a lobster pinch, after all," the doctor said. "You bought seafood. This type of bacteria is most common in seafood. If the wound had been cleaned promptly after the injury, there certainly wouldn't have been any major problem." Sarah murmured, "I already put a Band-Aid on it, and I even applied rapeseed oil and incense ash from the village shaman." Rapeseed oil, incense ash? As soon as Sarah's words finished, let alone the doctor, even the ordinary people nearby shook their heads repeatedly. The doctor advised her, "No wonder your daughter fainted. None of your measures were correct. Let me tell you clearly, your daughter's situation is absolutely very dangerous right now. Go to the hospital immediately, or it might be too late and she'll need an amputation." Sarah, who had been like a machine gun firing indiscriminately, turned completely pale after hearing the words amputation. Her eyelids rolled back, and she fainted on the spot. After Sarah fainted, she was taken away in an ambulance. We were told she'd receive glucose at the hospital, and she eventually woke up. But as soon as we got out of the car, a nurse rushed over. "Are you Lily's family? Please sign here and go pay for the surgery. We need to prepare for Lily's limb amputation surgery." As soon as she heard the words, limb amputation, Sarah's face immediately turned ashen, almost fainting again from fright. She clung tightly to my arm, barely managing to stand steady. Then, through gritted teeth, she squeezed out a sentence. "Anna, call your brother. Tell him to get back here right now, no matter where he is on his business trip." Business trip? I almost burst out laughing. My brother wasn't on any business trip. He clearly had another family outside. He always complained that Sarah was rude and shrewish, so he had long been having an affair with his secretary, Sophia, often using business trips as an excuse to enjoy their private world. I had discovered this in my past life, but my brother had begged me not to tell. He said Sarah was so fierce that if she knew, she would surely beat him to death and tear the family apart. He also said that Lily was still so young, and if the family broke up, it would surely not be good for her growth. So I had secretly kept quiet about it, and from then on, I even treated Lily and Sarah better. Whenever my brother wasn't home, I would go to their house to keep them company. I always felt this was a debt our family owed to Sarah. But I never expected that after I died, my brother, Sarah, and their whole family would cause my tragic death. "Brother, I'm not helping you keep this a secret anymore. I need to see what consequences you'll face when Sarah finds out." "Yes, Sarah, I'm calling him right now." I called my brother and put him on speaker. "Brother, can you transfer 100,000 yuan? My brother, clearly interrupted from something, was in a terrible mood and irritably asked me, 100,000 yuan? Anna, are you trying to blackmail me? You open your mouth and ask for so much. Don't think that just because you know about me and Sophia, you have leverage over me. You're just an old, unwanted single woman. Won't you still have to rely on me and Lily for your old age?" As soon as Sarah heard the name Sophia, her eyebrows furrowed. But the other end of the line, seemingly fearless, transmitted a woman's voice. "Daniel, who are you calling? I'm done showering and you haven't come over yet." Coming. It's just my sister, an old, single woman, that's all." With that, I don't know if he touched the woman, but she let out a coquettish giggle. Sarah's face grew increasingly green. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore, snatched my phone, and yelled into the other end, "Daniel, transfer the money to me right now. Your daughter needs a limb amputation surgery." With that, she hung up. I didn't need to guess. My brother was undoubtedly scrambling to put his pants on right now. He must have understood that with a quarrelsome woman like Sarah, the fewer the words, the more serious the matter. After Sarah hung up the phone, she suddenly looked up at me with a chilling gaze. "Your brother said on the phone that you already knew about him and that secretary." A chill ran down my spine. Damn, I forgot about that. If she decides to settle scores, she'll definitely include me. I had no choice but to stubbornly claim that I had only found out a month ago. But at that time, Lily was preparing for her university exam, and I was afraid it would affect her studies, so I planned to tell you after the exam. I wondered if this reason would convince Sarah. She didn't press the issue further, just held a pen and numbly signed the consent form for the surgery. I saw her tears fall onto the paper, almost soaking it. Then she channeled all her anger and sorrow into one sentence. Daniel, you bastard, you deserve to die. Your whole Tang family deserves to die. After the surgery, my brother finally arrived. What's going on? Lily was doing well with her university exam. Why is she undergoing amputation? Weren't you home watching her? How could you watch her to the point of amputation? My brother asked 2 questions in a row, almost the familiar rhetoric of all Chinese men. Weren't you watching the child? How did she end up like this? I almost vomited hearing it. But Sarah, unexpectedly, didn't fly into a rage. She even bowed her head and apologized to my brother. It's true, I was careless. I didn't watch Lily carefully enough, which is why she had to undergo amputation. It's my fault. She said this while bowing her head and crying. My brother must have never seen Sarah so submissive and apologetic. Coupled with the fact that he had just been caught cheating by Sarah, he sighed and walked towards her, even reaching out to pat her back. It's okay, as long as our family lives well together in the future, these storms will pass. But before he could finish his sentence, he let out a blood-curdling scream. Ah, Sarah, what are you doing? Sarah, from who knows where, produced a used syringe and stabbed it repeatedly into my brother. Pass? What's going to pass? I'm at home watching our daughter, and you're out there messing around with other women, and you expect it to just pass. My brother never expected Sarah to be so decisive. He was stunned by the stabbing, even in such pain that he seemed to lose his senses, unable to dodge. I just picked this up outside the STD clinic. Don't you like going out with prostitutes? I'll let you play, I'll let you play. Get a bunch of syphilis, play until you die, you dog. My brother bled profusely onto the floor from Sarah's stabbing. The medical staff nearby wanted to intervene, but were afraid of being accidentally stabbed by the STD-infected syringe, so no one dared to stop her. I heard someone nearby say, I've seen patients fighting with doctors and nurses, but I've never seen family members fight so tragically. Finally, just as Sarah was about to stab my brother's temple with the syringe, the nurses finally pushed Lily out of the operating room. Sarah froze in place, the syringe in her hand falling to the ground. She couldn't hold it back anymore and burst into choked sobs. My Lily, my Lily. After Lily regained consciousness, completely beyond our expectation, she was incredibly calm. She didn't cry or make a fuss, only repeating one sentence, "This is a dream. Let me go back to take the university exam. This is a dream. Let me go back to take the university exam." Seeing this, Sarah cried even harder. She tried to reach out and touch Lily, but Lily forcefully pushed her hand away with her left hand. She looked at Sarah with hateful eyes. "Get out, you demon. It was you who made me lose my right hand. I told you it hurt so much, but you didn't believe me, you didn't take me to the hospital for a checkup, and you even put that rapeseed oil and incense ash on me. Get out, you're not my mother, I'll hate you for life, you deserve to be abandoned by my father. From now on, I'll call Secretary Sophia my mother, not you." As soon as Lily's words finished, not only Sarah but I too was stunned. How did she know about my brother's affair? Lily sneered. I found out a week ago. I was going to look for a classmate to play with, but I didn't expect them to live in the same apartment complex as Secretary Sophia. As a result, I saw my father in their building, hugging a woman. Do you know how heartbroken I was then? I had to suppress my uncomfortable feelings and couldn't tell Mom because I was afraid she'd go crazy, and I still had to take my university exam. Now I understood. No wonder she failed her exam in the previous life. It must have been due to the shock of her father's affair. Ha, so why did you blame it on me? You failed your own exam, so you broke my arm and pushed me into the river. I glanced at her empty right sleeve, feeling that all this revenge was not even a fraction of the pain I suffered when I drowned in the past life. After learning everything, Sarah didn't blame Lily. Instead, she hugged Lily and sobbed. "Lily, my good daughter, it's Mom's fault. Don't worry, Mom will find the best doctor to cure you." Lily, pale-faced, laughed coldly. "Cure? Cure what? The doctor already cut it off. What's left to cure? Ask Aunt Anna, she's a doctor too. Ask her if a severed hand can grow back." I looked at Lily and said, "Medically, no, but perhaps other methods might work." Sarah, whose eyes were already bloodshot, immediately looked up at me. "What methods? Sarah, didn't you trust the village shaman a lot? Why don't you go ask her if she has a way?" After saying that, I looked at Lily's empty sleeve, Sarah's bizarre expression, and heard the incessant wails from my brother's hospital room next door. Ha, this is just the beginning. It's only losing a right hand or contracting syphilis. None of you three will have a peaceful life this time around." That very day, Sarah went back to the village to find the shaman who had given her the incense ash. When she went in, I waited outside. Through the dingy mud walls of the countryside, I could hear their conversation. "This method, will it really work? Last time you said that incense ash, when my daughter applied it, not only didn't heal her but also led to infection and amputation." "Oh dear, that incense ash wasn't for applying to the wound, it was for your daughter to drink. This time, just listen to me, I guarantee no mistakes. What if it doesn't work? There's no what if. There will be no what if. If you don't dare, your daughter will be a cripple for life." Not long after, Sarah emerged. Only this time, the blood vessels in her eyes were even more numerous and redder, making her look like a demon. After coming out, she did two things. First, she went straight to a real estate agency, starting to list her house online at a low price. Second, she carried a black-feathered silky fowl to the hospital to find Lily. The house sold very quickly at an extremely low price compared to the market. In the hospital, she told Lily, "My good daughter, Mom has found a way to heal your hand." She mysteriously took out the chicken. The silky fowl clucked. Sarah quickly closed the door and told Lily, "Just keep this chicken under your bed. For the next few days, you'll eat and sleep with it, and then you'll eat its droppings." Lily initially found the first part acceptable, but when she heard, "eat its droppings," she couldn't hold back anymore and screamed, interrupting her mother. "Get out, you crazy woman, get out. Isn't it enough that you made me lose my hand? Now you want me to become an idiot who eats chicken droppings?" Sarah sighed. "My good daughter, trust Mom. This isn't an ordinary chicken. It was raised in the shaman's temple since it was little, growing up eating incense ash. Once you've eaten all its droppings, your body will have spiritual energy, and then Mom will find you a new hand." Lily looked at Sarah in horror, continuously backing away. She instinctively reached out with her right hand to push Sarah away, but since she only had one arm now, she couldn't push Sarah at all, eventually only able to scream, "Help! Someone! A crazy person is making a patient eat chicken droppings." Seeing this, I finally stepped forward and pulled Sarah back. "Sarah, if Lily doesn't want to, let's talk about it later. It'll be troublesome if the nurses come." Sarah finally left. Lily looked at me with an expression of desperate gratitude. In the evening, Sarah brought Lily a bowl of soup. "If you don't want to eat chicken droppings, will you drink some bone broth Mom simmered for you?" Lily, at this point, obediently picked up a spoon and started drinking the soup. But the more she drank, the more she felt something was off. "Mom, why does this soup smell so strange?" "Because Mom put chicken droppings in it." Lily was completely stunned. She reached her hand to her throat, intending to vomit it out. Sarah quickly rushed over to stop her. "Trust Mom, this is just a lead. I'll help you get a new hand, I will definitely do it." "Get out, you lunatic." Lily's eyes widened more and more. Finally, she couldn't breathe, choking with anger until she fainted. Sarah, meanwhile, kept kissing Lily's forehead, murmuring as if possessed, "My good daughter, Mom will definitely heal your hand." Late at night, Sarah finally went home to rest. I went to Lily's bedside. I stroked her small, pale face. She finally woke up. Seeing me, tears immediately streamed down her face. "Auntie, save me, my mother, she's—" I told her, "A few days ago, your mother and I went to find that shaman. The method of eating chicken droppings was also suggested by that shaman. Your mother is obsessed now, she only wants to replace your hand." Lily was stunned. "Replace my hand? With what?" "With your father's." Lily's pupils immediately dilated. "She's insane." Early the next morning, Sarah dragged me along with her to visit my brother. But as soon as we arrived outside his hospital room, we heard my brother on the phone. "That bitch used a syringe from an STD patient to stab me. Now the infection is a problem. That damn bitch, when I see her, I'm going to chop her into pieces." But when Sarah pushed the door open and walked in, he quickly hung up the phone, looking guilty and terrified at Sarah, his eyes showing a fear that she would devour him. But Sarah, far from being angry, instead shook her head and said, "Daniel, this is indeed my fault. I shouldn't have taken out my anger about Lily's amputation on you. It's right for you to resent me." Her sudden softness stunned my brother. "Do you really think that?" "Yes," Sarah said, her face expressionless. "Call that Secretary Sophia over here. I'll talk to her for a bit, then we'll get a divorce. My house is sold now, the money belongs to me. As for Lily, you'll give her 5,000 yuan in child support each month from now on." My brother first couldn't believe it. Then he seriously observed Sarah's expression, trying to find any trace of deception on her face, but there was none. Sarah was terrifyingly sincere, completely appearing as someone whose heart had died after her daughter's amputation. My brother immediately rejoiced. Good, good, good. It's good that you've come to your senses. To be honest, I was going to sue you. Now that I see your sincere attitude, I'll reluctantly not hold it against you. But I have a condition. The 5,000 yuan monthly child support must be changed to 1,000. A cold smile flickered across Sarah's lips, but she still said, "Okay." My brother was overjoyed, immediately calling Sophia to arrange a meeting. My brother was so engrossed in his happiness that he didn't notice the cold, excited glint in Sarah's eyes. My dear brother, you probably couldn't imagine how tragic the outcome would be for betraying a housewife who only had her daughter and husband. Saturday evening, Sophia indeed arrived as scheduled. They met on the rooftop of our apartment building. Sarah said it was secluded there, the scenery was beautiful, and discussing a painful divorce wouldn't feel too sad. Sophia was very beautiful, wearing a red dress. Standing next to Sarah, she made Sarah look both frumpy and stout. When Sophia saw Sarah, she even mocked her. "It's hot summer. Why are you wearing a leather jacket? Being countrified is one thing, but aren't you stifling yourself?" Sarah smiled. "It's a waterproof leather jacket." "Waterproof?" My brother looked up at the sky. "The weather doesn't look like it's going to rain." Sarah smiled coldly, then suddenly pulled out a chainsaw from a corner. "Who said waterproof was because it was going to rain? I'm afraid that when I cut off your hand later, the blood will splash on me." My brother finally realized Sarah had gone completely mad. He quickly pulled Sophia and tried to run out, but the rooftop had already been locked by Sarah. Sophia didn't have time to run. She stumbled and fell to the ground. Sarah severed her right hand with the chainsaw. "Are you crazy?" My brother screamed loudly. He also wanted to run but could only desperately cling to the railing. "I'm wrong, Sarah. I'm truly wrong. I'll never cheat again. From now on, I'll live well with you and our daughter." "Can we raise our daughter together?" "If you want to raise our daughter, then saw off your hand to replace Lily's. Shaman Ma said she has a secret art to help our daughter get a new hand," Sarah said, advancing towards my brother. Just as she held the chainsaw, about to touch my brother's arm, Lily's voice finally echoed from outside the railing. "Mom, no." Sarah finally stopped. Lily quickly took the rooftop key that I had prepared for her beforehand and opened the door. She cried to Sarah, "Mom, don't hurt Dad anymore. Let's live well together. I don't mind being disabled as long as our family is together." Sarah finally froze, slowly lowering the chainsaw. But at that moment, the chainsaw in her hand was snatched by Lily. Lily directly raised the chainsaw, aiming for Sarah's stomach, and slashed. "Die, you lunatic. You made me lose my limb and forced me to eat chicken droppings. You think I'll forgive you? Dream on." My brother saw the situation was dire and immediately tried to run, but Sarah, with her last ounce of strength, pushed my brother off the rooftop. Lily, holding the chainsaw, chased Sarah from behind, but Sarah made no attempt to dodge. When she was stabbed, she even smiled resignedly. "My good daughter, don't hurt yourself. I won't dodge. When I die, take my hand to Shaman Ma and tell her to replace yours with it." Through the surveillance camera, watching this scene unfold, I must admit, I felt a little moved. Sarah, a quarrelsome, uneducated woman her whole life, thought only of her daughter, and everyone around her kept her husband's affair a secret. But she should never, ever, have blamed me after her daughter failed the exam. That day, my brother died on the spot. Sarah and Sophia, due to excessive blood loss, could not be saved by emergency treatment. Lily, completely traumatized by the bloody scene everywhere, went utterly insane. As her sole guardian, I decided to place her in a mental hospital. When I visited her, she suddenly said to me, "Auntie, I had a dream. I dreamed I hadn't lost my limb. Ah, it hurts so much. Our whole family was living so well. But why? Why did it turn out like this?" I let out a cold laugh. "Of course, it's because you were reborn. Weren't you tragic enough in your past life, causing harm to me? Do you not want to pay the price in this life? I'll tell you this. Your family's house was bought by me at a cheap price, and the shaman was also bribed by me beforehand. The idea of using someone else's hand for replacement, that was me telling her to say it so your mother would believe it. Eating chicken droppings, that was my idea too. Haha, for no other reason than to disgust you, so that you would be angry enough, hate your mother enough." Lily looked at me in disbelief, then screamed. She lunged straight for the window, attempting to jump. "I have to jump too. If I jump, I can be reborn. I want to be reborn. I don't want to be insane. I don't want to be disabled." I smiled. She had no idea that her actions in a mental hospital only made her seem more problematic. It doesn't matter. Next, I will begin to enjoy all of their family's assets, living out the rest of my life.